Good evening, everyone. My name is Rand Irons, and I was a Burhans Civic Fellow this summer working at the Local Initiative Support Corporation. The Local Initiative Support Corporation is a national organization based in New York that has a branch office here in the city of Richmond. It's a regionally focused office. They do projects all over the region from Petersburg to more rural counties to the city of Richmond. And some of these projects include the new Petersburg Library that was just created, as well as projects in Churchill more closer to home, such as Sub Rosa Bakery and others, where they administer a grant program that's set with small businesses. And so the Local Initiative Support Corporation has had a huge role to play in the city of Richmond and community development in our city. But my specific focus was in Highland Park, which is a neighborhood in the city that they're right now beginning to look into and look into investment opportunities and community development opportunities there. And so I specifically tapped that project because of my experience volunteering was through the CCE, which has given me a lot of experience and knowledge of that community. The second place that I worked at, who partnered with LISC for this project, was Storefront for Community Design. It's on Broad Street in the Arts District. And this organization connects communities, nonprofits, and other local organizations with urban planners, community designers, artists, and other people that can help them sort of develop programs and develop things for their communities that they normally would not have access to due to lack of funds. And so their specific projects that they were working on with LISC, their contract with LISC, was community outreach in the Highland Park neighborhood. Specifically Ryan Wren, right here in the picture, who's a UR alumni, who was working on community organizing efforts for this. My project for this summer was a community safety initiative for Highland Park. Specifically, it was to create a comprehensive security plan using this general framework that LISC has used across the country in order to improve the safety and security of the Highland Park neighborhood, to make it more conducive for further investment and other opportunities for community development. And I'm passing around the final Highland Park Community Safety Initiative if you'd like to look through it. It includes both historical efforts in that city, in that part of the neighborhood, to improve the safety and security of the neighborhood, community development efforts, new businesses, what are the current conditions, as well as future recommendations and other stakeholders that might help out in implementing those future goals. So I primarily worked on this throughout the summer, and specifically the people that I collaborated with were Lieutenant Lewis Mills, who's featured here in the picture. He's the police lieutenant over the 4th Precinct, which includes Northside Richmond, and including Highland Park. And so he has an intimate knowledge of the security situation in Highland Park, and so it was a huge asset for me when I was learning about this. He's a great guy, very, very, very helpful, and always willing to work with the community. Many members of the community actually have his personal cell phone number. If they have problems, they can call him if they don't feel comfortable calling 911. And I also worked with Ms. Jo White, who's the head of Guardian Angels, as well as in the Highland Park Neighborhood Watch program, who has led a lot of community efforts at improving the community and working with the police in order to improve security and safety in the community. And she's been phenomenal in the work that she has done and the efforts she's made to make Highland Park a safer place. And as you'll notice in the Community Safety Initiative report, crime is down significantly over the past 10 years, and hopefully through this report and through other initiatives, they're able to improve that further. The second part of my role was community outreach, specifically along the 6 Points Commercial Corridor. It's an area in this very unique part of the community where 6 major roads meet in one intersection. And so there's a lot of businesses there, and there's a lot of potential economic activity there, but there's a lot of boarded up storefronts, as you can see, for sale signs everywhere. There's a lot of need for improvements in that community. And so what we did through this outreach was talk with store owners as well as community members to see what their needs were, but also to talk about what programs we provide, like facade improvements. We're partnering with Capital One as well as other corporations in the city. There's money available to improve the facades of businesses, to help brighten up that area and also plant new trees and shrubs to help make that area look more desirable and also increase foot traffic, as well as improve security along that corridor, because a big issue that we found through both market analysis done by BCU students and elsewhere is that there's a significant amount of money, close to $7 million, that leaves this community every year because people don't shop in the community. And so all these businesses are not receiving that business, and so they can't hire people. There's no jobs specifically in that community, and if everyone did shop on this corridor, that would be a huge boom for the community, bringing lots of new jobs, lots of local businesses. And so the goal of this effort was to, in the future, increase investment in this community and bring more jobs in the community, and really do grassroots community development that will benefit everyone in the community through these outreach efforts. The academic component of this effort was done with Dr. Connor, my advisor, was looking at sort of the context of community development and what it really means, because there's these greater macroeconomic and policy decisions that are made that really affect neighborhoods. And neighborhoods themselves have very little control how all these things play out. One of them, for instance, is policy decisions, like historically, the highway that was put through this area that brought many middle-class people out into the suburbs. Facilitating white flight, making Highland Park, which was traditionally a streetcar suburb of the city, built about 100 years ago. Now it's predominantly African-American and much poorer than other parts of the city. And also greater macroeconomic conditions such as deindustrialization in the city, where many manufacturing jobs left. And so many of these jobs that people normally had, which were very decent middle-class jobs, have been replaced by mainly service sector jobs, which pay much, much lower wages. And so understanding that context, understanding the forces that sort of affect community development and prevent community development from happening really helps to target efforts at promoting grassroots community development that is effective and that is long-lasting. My final slide is specifically my role and my reflections as to my service in the community, specifically with the Community Safety Initiative. This picture right here is from a Style Weekly article published last year about the first homicide victim in Highland Park in 4 years. His name was Garrick Ellis. He was a young man of 18 years old. The cause of death was a misidentification. They were looking to target someone else, and they ended up shooting him. And so he was a successful basketball player. He had a lot of goals and aspirations and wanted to, and there's further information in the article, but it talks about he wanted to buy his own house, buy a house for his mom, who was very transient at this point, and really become successful. But due to the security and safety situation, the current problems that are ongoing in this community, that didn't end up happening. And so, considering this and considering sort of my experience in this community, because Boaz Place, the organization that sponsored it for 3 years, is literally 2 blocks down the road from this location. It really became sort of both a personal endeavor of mine to really help this community that I spent so much time in, but also a place where I was navigating what my role was in this community, where my experiences are very different from their experiences. I'm an outsider coming in who doesn't live in the community, who doesn't really have a complete sense of what these people's lives are like on a daily basis. And I wanted to see what is my role and how can I help them more and do something more substantial than the volunteering that I had previously done. And what I found is that I learned a lot from the methods that LIST uses in terms of community organizing. For LIST, it's not just going into community, doing a project that they want to do and then leaving. It's really partnering with the community, focusing on their priorities, and looking at what LIST can do to help. It was explained to me in this way. The community has priorities, the community has goals, and they know what they need. And LIST has the ability and the expertise to help in certain areas. And so the key is to align both those efforts to find the most effective decisions possible to improve the community and focus on community development, or to find other organizations they can partner with to help build that community. And so what I've come to know is the importance of listening, hearing the concerns of the community, making sure they believe that they have a voice in the process, and then leaving and then making sure that they have a responsibility in implementing the process, focusing more on in the background, the organizing efforts in the background, and meeting their needs so they can accomplish their goals. And so what I learned is that it's to become an ally of the community. And I believe that that term really sort of embodies what needs to be done in terms of community organizing and community development, is to become an ally of the community and focus on helping them achieve their goals. Because many times these community members feel like they don't have a say. They feel like their community is changing in front of them, they'll soon have to leave because of rising housing prices, and they don't have a say in the ultimate destiny of their community. And this is a huge problem, not only in Richmond, but all over the United States, and many of these cities that are currently gentrifying and these communities that are changing. But when they have a say in the community, then grassroots economic development can occur, and the needle can swing in the direction of both justice and development. And so becoming an ally of the community, being consistent, being a part of the community, being willing to shop at the flower shop, being willing to eat at the local restaurant, being willing to engage with the local residents is a huge part of really becoming a part of that community and really engaging with them in a process that brings both of you, creates that partnership that can really cause change and really improve the lives of individuals in this community and prevent and improve safety, prevent crime and improve safety in the community. I'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Burhans for this amazing opportunity. I would not have been able to do this otherwise. And Veronica Fleming, who's in the audience, is the program manager for LIST. Thank you for coming. As well as Cassie Price and CC, Dr. Water, my amazing advisor, and the CC staff that are putting on this event. Thank you.